this is Hannah with Hannah Crafted Gifts, and I wanted to share some alternative projects with you today from this month, which is February for one more day, February 2021's paper pumpkin, which was called Bouquet of Hope. If you haven't already seen that, these were the projects that Stampin' Up! Gave us to recreate. But once again, I found, oh sorry, the light's really shining on there. Hopefully you can see that better now. I found that there were some really beautiful elements to this kit, and the cards that were designed were great, but I would rather have made some different things. So that's what I'm going to show you. So first of all, my first card is the most similar to the instructions to this card on, gosh, what is that, your left or right? I don't know. This card here. So this is my version. I just flipped the gold doily, for lack of a better word. I'm not sure exactly what they're calling this piece that's die cut, but I love that laser die cut for that detail of all those flowers. I liked the gold side. I just thought with this card base, because there's the white dots in the background, I liked the white better. And instead of using the label from the kit, I used some Mary Merlot cardstock that I had to coordinate with the card base that came with the kit. This is the story label if you didn't recognize it from the annual catalog. So if you have that punch, you could punch this out. I didn't have that punch, so what I did was I took the sheet that the die cut labels from the kit came from, and once I had popped one out, I used that as a stencil to just draw or trace the outline, and then just fussy cut this out, and that worked quite well. And I used the Whisper White Craft ink on it, so again, I'm just going with a very simple color palette, the Mary Merlot and white. And on the inside, so this says "So sorry for your loss," because this was a sympathy themed kit, of course. And then in Mary Merlot, I put on the inside the little kind of poem, sharing in your sorrow, thinking of you, and wishing I could be there to hold your hand. So that was my first alternative. I then used some of the Flower and Field Designer Series paper that's part of Celebration for just one more day, because this kit was advertised to coordinate with that, and it certainly did very well. I loved this Thinking of You sticker that came in the kit. And I love this Flower and Field DSP, so I used that as my background on just some black cardstock. I fussy cut out these flowers, and I used some of the sequins for the center of the flower here and the dots on the eyes. So I liked this card a lot because I liked those elements. This was another one I did just to kind of stretch those stickers, the Thinking of You stickers. I actually fussy cut around the outside of the sticker and used that little piece plus the insides of things like this is the bottom of the Y and U, or the space between the T and the H here, so that hopefully in the negative space you can still read Thinking of You. It might be a little hard to see on the camera. In fact, it might be backwards, hopefully not. And more of that Flower and Field DSP. This is probably my favorite sheet of that DSP. Fussy cut out some flowers again and then used the black sequins from the kit. And I don't personally speak French or German. I wish I did. But I have a good friend, my downline Renee, actually, who does, and so does her sister. So I'm sending these to her, which are the Thinking of You equivalents in French and German. Again, using Flower and Field DSP. Hopefully you can see I fussy cut out some of the flowers. I'm trying to get it so I can point to it there. Use some more sequins, and so I'm going to send those to her so she can have that and share that with her bi or trilingual sister. This one took me the longest time, but this is a shaker card, which again will probably be hard to see on the video, but I love this vellum frame that we got. And I put it on one of our retired gold foil cards that has this little bit of gold foil around the edge of the card, but just on a Whisper White or basic white cardstock base, I think that could work really well too. And hopefully you can hear the sequins in there even if you can't see them. They're a little hard to see from the vellum, especially on camera, but oh, you might just see some fall in there. And then I used some vellum leaves from the World's Greatest, I think it was called, kit from last August 2020. And then this gold piece on the gold foil here behind those vellum pieces, that is from the Forever Fern bundle. And I use the I'll always be here for you sentiment, which I really liked because that doesn't have to be sympathy, that could be any time. So I thought that was quite an elegant card with all the gold. Has the gold foil envelope to go with it, of course. And then lastly, well, actually not quite lastly, I'll have one more thing after this, but this was the alternative that I taught in my class, which was today. My paper pumpkin party for this kit. So here's the kit closed. I always like to show an alternative that has a little more to it, maybe a fancy fold or something. So this is a pop-up card. So you can slide the thread down, and this is entirely using kit-only products because some of my people are new and don't have a lot of other supplies yet. So when you slide this down, you can then pop the card open, and you have a beautiful bouquet or a garden coming out of your card. And I told my friends at the party that they could stamp the flower stamp on these flaps, which some of them did. It looked beautiful. It kind of looked like when people have like lattice work on their homes with flowers growing up it, even more of a garden. Or they could use another one of those story labels to hang right here off their thread and have it be like a name tag. So this could be a placeholder. I actually have a tutorial that I'll link to below for a pop-up placeholder that my partner and I made a while back. And it's made a little differently because you use a different size cardstock. This, of course, was pre-cut, so I had to use it. So if you can see in there, I used one of those story labels to seam it together because I didn't have any extra cardstock. Normally you'd have like an extra 1/2 inch on this to create a tab. But I just used a label to cinch that closed. And then I used another one of the labels, the skinny one this time, across the middle there to hold that second row of flowers, all of which are on dimensionals, so hopefully you can see that. You could also put a label like that story label here and have a sentiment there. So anyway, that's the pop-up card that they made and that I showed them, and then I made along with them another version of it, this time with the Flower and Field DSP again. So you can see just some different flowers in this one. And instead of the ribbon on this one, I used the bumblebee polka dot strip that was in this kit, one of the die cuts, cut it in half so that it would go all the way around my card. And so there's that. But the last thing I wanted to show you, which I showed them, was how they can create more bouquets, because of course this kit came with a beautiful die cut bouquet, but only 3 of them. So it did come with that beautiful line stamp. So you can create bouquets that then you can fussy cut out. And I wanted to show them the different coloring tools. So this is all using Real Red, Old Olive, and Daffodil Delight, which are not necessarily coordinating colors with this kit or the Flower and Field DSP, but they were the colors that I had in all the tools. I kind of match it, I just noticed. So this is the markers, the Stamp and Write markers. This is the Stampin' Blends. That's probably my favorite. Just such a good, bold image, but still some variation. This one is the watercolor pencils with a blender pen, and this one is just ink, the ink pads with the blender pen. So hopefully you can see all of those and choose your favorite, and recommend that to your customers if you're a demonstrator watching, or just yourself use that to color in. I love the fad of adult coloring, and this set certainly allows you to do that. Although I've seen other people just even stamp these and leave them just with the line drawing, like stamped all over cardstock as kind of a background, like creating your own DSP. So lots of options with this kit. I really liked it. I hope you did too. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, I have other project show and tells, unboxings, tutorials. So please like, comment, and subscribe is the most helpful thing you could do for me. But I wish you, as always, happy crafting.